You know, back in the day I had a pair of noise cancelling headphones, I'm talking 6 years ago, and I still have them, but I don't use them anymore because I have a really sensitive jaw and can't handle anything weighty. My problem with those headphones was that even though they were half the size of these A800 headphones, I would get fatigued really quickly. And guys, these headphones, despite their look, feel amazing. I'll get back to this in a minute. When I first ordered these headphones, I had no idea they'd be this big. I mean, they're not ridiculously big, but at the same time, they're not the slimmest, most compact ANC headphones. I do love the design though, otherwise I wouldn't have ordered. But I'm not sure if I would ever wear these in public for a few reasons I'll share with you in a minute. The build quality of these headphones is just solid, no complaints there, and unlike some other big brands, these do not feel plasticky at all, and yet they're not that heavy. The ear cups are plush and feel high quality as well, but going back to the comfort, I was really skeptical if these would be the ones that I would stick with for the few reasons I mentioned at the beginning of this video. You know, I get fatigued really quickly, and my number one choice for long-term use has always been you know, good old regular earphones. And what surprised me is that after 7 to 8 hours, I was only moderately fatigued. It's right about 6 hours that I feel that my head needs a break, but I can keep going for a couple more hours. And perhaps the first place that gets fatigued for me has been right at the top of my head, and that could be sometimes even less than 6 hours, but usually moving it around and adjusting it helps. Okay, so just a minute ago I told you I wouldn't wear these in public. One reason is that I generally prefer earbuds or earphones because they're very compact, but even if I want to, let's say, take on a long flight and have naps, these wouldn't necessarily be very comfy, and that's because the sides are kind of protruded out and you can't really tilt your head to either side. And you just have to keep your head straight, which isn't very comfortable for many people when they want to sleep in a flight seat or something. So yeah, very comfortable for general everyday use, and yet not the best choice for every occasion. Alright, so let's talk about some of the features of these headphones. These are obviously active noise cancelling headphones, and they come with dual noise cancelling feature, which is something that the Sony's 1000XM4 have. They also have 8 microphones. I repeat, they have 8 microphones. The Sonys have 5 mics if I'm not mistaken. There are 4 physical controls on these headphones, which many people, including myself, appreciate so much. The playback button, the volume controls, and the power button. But there are also a couple touch controls available on the right side. The physical buttons are easy to find, and especially after a few days, once the muscle memory kicks in, you can just reach the right button very quickly. And as for the touch controls, you can't really control the music, but you can double tap and triple tap to turn on or turn off ambient sound or noise cancelling, or switch between the two. So for example, in my case, if I double tap, if it isn't already on noise cancelling mode, it switches to noise cancelling, and then when I double tap again, it switches back to the ambient mode, and triple tap turns off both of these modes. But you can also have double tap, triple tap, and touch and hold for when you receive calls and during calls separately. And in addition to these, the headphones actually come with a wearing sensor, so when you take them off, they automatically pause the music, and you can disable this feature in the app. After a few days of using them though, I noticed the music or whatever I'm listening to keeps pausing. At the first time I didn't mind it. I either played it again or the device unpaused it again itself. But it happened more and more, and it got so annoying, so I decided to, figure it out myself and see what's wrong with them. And I eventually realized there's some kind of a bug with their wear sensor, so it thinks I'm taking them off and on all the time, so I just went to the app and selected to continue playing music when I'm taking them off. So I really hope this will be fixed by Technics with a firmware update soon. Now let's not forget that these come with Bluetooth 5.2, which is just what you want to see in 2022. So they can connect to 2 sources at the same time and switch automatically, and of course to many more devices, but you'd need to connect manually. I found the connection seamless for the most part. There were a couple instances though where I think the headphones were honestly confused to which secondary device they should connect to, and there were some short periods of interruptions. Alright, so these headphones are amazing at isolating sound, so much so that when you put them on for the first time, you would probably think that noise cancelling is on even when the device is off. Just amazing, and because of that, the sound bleed even at high volumes is non-existent. unless you really go all the way. Let's talk about the noise cancelling quality. The first time you want to turn on the ANC, you have to go to a noisy place and then set up the noise cancelling right then and there. And you can always adjust the level of the noise cancelling, which to me honestly doesn't make much of a difference. The noise cancelling for the most part didn't feel uncomfortable or make me sick, but when I turn on the noise cancelling without listening to anything like music or something, I sometimes feel slightly nauseous. And when I'm in some relatively quiet environment, but perhaps with just the hum of a fan or refrigerator or something, I'd rather just wear the headphones with the noise cancelling feature off, because again, the sound isolation is really good, that it blocks so much of these small ambient noise if you don't want to listen to any music and just want to block out some of the noise. Okay, now Technics is famous for amazing audio quality, and they've been in this business for many decades. And in terms of the bass, which is something that the average consumer is looking for the most, I think the bass is quite good. It's not the deepest, but it's also not completely flat, as they're not really supposed to be on this class. And like most people, I like a good bass when I listen to music. So in the app, you can turn on the bass plus to amplify the bass. Unfortunately, it was, subtle enough to not kill the vocals. And when I want to listen to an audiobook or podcast, I turn on the vocal instead to pop the human voice, and it makes it so much clearer to hear the vocals. I also tested the frequency range, and it seems that at least they can go all the way down to 20 Hertz, but with the higher frequencies, I could only hear it around 16,000 Hertz, but that's also very close to an average adult's upper limit, so that's okay, but I think the lower frequencies were more clear in this simple test. Alright, so about the battery life, Technics advertises that these last for 50 hours with the noise cancelling on. You've seen in my videos that I don't talk too much about our battery life, because for the most part, the environment and your usage pattern is what really defines the battery life. But I can tell you that after I fully charged them for the first time, the battery lasted more or less 5.5 to 6 days with the noise cancelling on for the most part, and using at least 7 to 8 hours every day. Also, it took 1 hour to charge from 5% to 80%.
Okay, so here's a little mic test. Doing a true call quality test, a microphone test, is a tricky one because it depends on the environment that you're at, and also the network quality and the kind of software that you use for your communications. Otherwise, the quality is really great. With 8 microphones, I'm really happy what I hear. But because there are also there's the noise cancelling on my side as well, so the other party can hear me better. It means that if I'm not loud enough, it might cut off a little bit of my voice, so it might suppress that. Otherwise, I'm happy. And this is how I sound.
All right, you guys had some questions for me. I want to answer those here. Is it true that they are IPX4 certified? And the answer is no, or probably not. And that's because the manufacturer does not mention it anywhere. So why would we think they are? The other question is that how are they for people with big head and big ears? I'm really happy to tell you that the ear cups on these are really large. So for me, they've been very comfortable, and I have a feeling that you're gonna like these if you have big ears and maybe a big head. So the best thing is for you to just try them out yourself. How's the vocal quality? Very clear. I'm really happy with what I hear. If I want to pop the vocals, I just go to the app and turn on the vocals. And that helps a lot. All right, so what do I really think of these headphones? I think these are really good for the price that you're paying, around $350 or euros. And the quality that you get is just amazing. It's a brand that you can trust in terms of the audio quality. I also wanted to buy something different than what everybody else buys, like the Sonys or the Bose. And I think 50 hours of battery life with the ANC on these is just amazing. I just hope they'll fix some of the bugs soon. All right, hope you liked and sub. See you in the next video, guys.